Stop making excuses. Put your head down and work for it. Life doesn't hand out rewards to those who wait or wish. It rewards those who persist through pain, push through failure, and rise after every fall. The truth is uncomfortable success is wrapped in struggle, and greatness is born in moments most people run from. But for those willing to endure, to silence the excuses, and to keep showing up even when no one claps, there's a level of growth and strength waiting that most never discover. This is the lesson hidden in discomfort. The harder the path, the greater the transformation. We live in a time where convenience is worship, and instant gratification is expected. But the cold, hard truth is that nothing lasting ever comes easy. Growth doesn't happen when things are smooth. It happens when you're stretched, bruised, and humbled. Adversity is life's most honest teacher. It doesn't flatter, it doesn't lie, and it doesn't care about your comfort. It strips away the illusions and shows you what you're really made of. When things go wrong, when you lose, fail, or face rejection, those moments aren't the end. They are feedback. They are redirections, not dead ends. Every defeat carries a lesson. Every heartbreak carries wisdom. Every failure whispers, try again, but smarter. It's easy to talk about dreams when everything is going right. But your real commitment is tested when everything falls apart. That's where most people give up. They tell themselves it wasn't meant to be. They shift the blame. They say it's too hard, too late, or too risky. But if you can silence those excuses and instead look inward, if you can ask yourself, what can I learn? How can I improve? Then every setback becomes a stepping stone. Take a moment to think about how powerful that mindset is. Imagine treating failure not as something to fear, but something to embrace. Imagine seeing loss as a compass pointing you in a wiser direction. This is what separates those who merely exist from those who truly grow. And it starts with one decision: to stop making excuses. Excuses protect your ego, but they kill your progress. They feel good in the moment, but leave you stuck in the same place. Working for it, on the other hand, is painful, but it's the pain of growth, the pain that makes you stronger. Nowhere is this lesson more vividly lived than in the story of baseball legend Jackie Robinson. Before he became a symbol of courage and equality, Jackie was just a young man with a dream, a fire inside him, and a storm of obstacles in his way. When he broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball in 1947, he wasn't just playing a sport, he was carrying the weight of an entire generation. Every game he played, he faced insults, threats, and hatred from fans, players, and even teammates. But he never retaliated. He never gave in to anger. He didn't make excuses. Instead, he put his head down and worked. Jackie didn't just change the game, he changed history. And he did it not by shouting back, but by playing better. He trained harder, he focused sharper. He knew that his performance was the loudest protest, the greatest answer to bigotry and doubt. Every time someone told him he didn't belong, he let his bat and glove do the talking. He understood that adversity wasn't his enemy, it was his opportunity. Every insult made him stronger. Every loss became a lesson. And because he never made excuses, because he kept showing up and doing the work, he became a legend not just in baseball, but in American history. His story is not just about talent, it's about perseverance. Jackie Robinson proved that when you face the storm with grace, discipline, and determination, you can transform not only your own life, but the lives of countless others. His journey is a reminder that discomfort is a sign of growth, that the hardest moments are the ones that forge our character. And it all starts when you stop blaming the world and start building yourself. There's a dangerous illusion we all wrestle with, that someday we'll feel ready. That once the stars align, once we feel confident enough, skilled enough, supported enough, then we'll act. But that day rarely comes. What we fail to realize is that readiness doesn't come before the work, it comes from doing the work. And that's why excuses are so toxic. They don't just delay your goals, they delay your growth. Every day you wait for the perfect moment, you give away power. You hand over control to fear, to doubt, to laziness. Excuses whisper lies in your ear. They say, you're too tired. You don't have the right tools. You're not like them, but deep down, you know the truth. You know when you've given your best and when you've settled for less. You know when you're hiding from the pain of discipline and masking it with justification. But if you're brave enough to face that truth, if you're willing to confront your own weakness instead of hiding behind it, then you can start making progress. Even if it's slow, even if it's messy, forward is forward. God, it's not about being the smartest, the strongest, or the luckiest. It's about showing up when it's hard. It's about doing the reps when no one is watching. It's about choosing the harder path, the uncomfortable conversation, the extra hour. Most people are looking for shortcuts, but the irony is that the long road, the one filled with effort and struggle, is actually the fastest way to real results. Because it builds not just outcomes, but resilience. And resilience lasts longer than talent. It outperforms motivation. It becomes part of who you are. Think of Jackie Robinson again. He didn't have a roadmap. There was no manual on how to navigate being the first black man in a segregated league. Every day was a new battle. He was expected to fail, to quit, to lose his temper, but he held the line. He understood that his fight wasn't just about baseball, it was about dignity. He knew that success required sacrifice. He endured not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. Every time he stepped onto that field, he turned pain into power. Asterisk, his story isn't just about racism or sport. It's about the universal. Struggle to be seen, respected, and heard. It's about what we all face in different ways, being underestimated, doubted, or ignored. And his legacy teaches us something timeless. If you focus more on what you can control and less on what you can't, you reclaim your power. You stop wasting energy on blame and start channeling it into action. That shift from victim to warrior is the essence of personal growth. The moment you stop waiting for better circumstances and start becoming a better version of yourself, everything changes. You start seeing obstacles as challenges, not curses. You start using failure as fuel, not evidence that you should quit. And most importantly, you begin to live with purpose. God, it's easy to stay comfortable. It's easy to settle for average and tell yourself stories about why you haven't started, why you haven't succeeded, why things are hard. But that story isn't helping you. It's holding you back. You don't have to be perfect to begin. You just have to stop hiding behind the reasons and start living behind the results. If you're serious about growth, then the discomfort you feel right now isn't your enemy, it's your invitation. It's a signal that you've reached the edge of your old self. And on the other side of that discomfort is who you could become stronger, wiser, more disciplined. The price is steep. It will cost you your excuses, your distractions, your attachment to comfort. But what you gain in return is priceless. Confidence, clarity, and the quiet pride of knowing you didn't quit when it got hard. Asterisk, working for it means showing up on the days when you don't feel like it. It means getting back up after life knocks you down. It means doing more than what's required because you're not chasing average. You're chasing excellence. And excellence demands everything. It demands you confront your laziness. It demands you take ownership of your choices. It demands that you stop pointing fingers and start pointing forward. You are not weak because you failed. You are only weak if you let that failure define you. True strength is in the comeback. True character is shown when no one is watching, when the cameras are off and the praise is gone. That's when it matters. That's when champions are made not in the spotlight, but in the shadows, grinding in silence, preparing for their moment. Jackie Robinson didn't become a legend because he wanted attention. He became one because he had a mission. He saw something bigger than himself. And even though the world gave him every reason to quit, he stayed the course. Not perfectly, not without pain, but with relentless purpose. And because of that, he opened doors for thousands who came after him. That's the power of personal responsibility. That's the impact of pushing through adversity with dignity and fire. So what's your excuse? That you're tired? So was he. That people are unfair? They were to him. That it's taken too long? It took him years of suffering before recognition ever came. But he didn't let those facts write his story. He wrote it with action, with performance, with perseverance. And so can you? This is your moment to rise, not someday, not when it's easier now. Stop making excuses. Put your head down and work for it. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Turn your struggles into strength. And know this, if you keep pushing, if you keep learning, and if you never give up, life will not deny you forever. You may be tired, you may be bruised, but you are not broken. You are building, you are growing. And if you stay the course, the world will one day know your name, not because you were lucky, but because you earned it.